Before we begin, I want to give you a warning. Today's story contains chilling details that may be disturbing or unsettling for some listeners. If you have a weak heart, or if you're alone in a dark room, you might want to think twice. But if you're ready to uncover some spine-tingling secrets, let's begin. He didn't break in. He had the key. A story about someone who quietly watches you from the shadows, legally. There was a soft click at the door. But I live alone, and no one has a key, except me. That was the third night in a row I woke up at exactly 3:17 a.m. Not from a nightmare, but from the unmistakable feeling that someone was standing at the foot of my bed, watching me from the darkness. I used to think creepy break-ins like this only happened in movies. But the truth is, he never broke in. He didn't need to. There were no signs of forced entry. Nothing in the house appeared touched, at least not obviously. Then I started to notice things. A chair placed closer to the window than usual. A nightgown hung oddly backwards over the chair. I live alone. I didn't do that. Security cameras. Cut off. Every night. Right at 3:17 a.m. And the strangest part, nothing was stolen. No loud noises. No signs of intrusion. Only one thing was certain, even though I couldn't prove it. Someone was living with me. In my own home. I started setting small traps. Sheets of paper under the door, thread across the closet, a pillow slightly tilted left. The next morning, the thread was snapped. The pillow flipped. But no one had come in. The only thing that could have was someone who already had the key. Everything started with a spoon. I'd lived alone for over 2 years, in a tidy little apartment on the 3rd floor. Always locked my doors at night. I'm not paranoid, but I do have a strong memory for where I leave things. The first clue. A small metal spoon on the right of the sink. But I clearly remembered putting it in the dishwasher the night before. I brushed it off, maybe I was mistaken. The next day, I came home to find the kitchen light on. I never leave it on. My spine tingled every time I inserted my key into the lock. On the 3rd night, I found warm water in the kettle. I hadn't used it all day. That's when the doubt crept in. Did someone enter my home while I was gone? Then, 3:17 a.m. I heard the soft turn of metal in the lock. Not a break-in. A careful, practiced turn. Like someone who knew exactly what they were doing. I didn't breathe. I could only hear the pounding of my heart in my throat. And then, nothing. No footsteps. No door opening. But I knew someone had been there. And they had a key. From that night onward, I woke up at 3:17 a.m. every night. No alarm. No reason. Just pure survival instinct. The more I investigated, the more I felt watched. But no one believed me. I changed the locks. Bought a top-tier digital lock, fingerprint and code only. I shared the code with no one. Only my fingerprint was registered. 3 days later, I returned home at 6 p.m. The door was locked. No tampering. But the dining chair had shifted. The one I always pushed under the table, pulled out just one notch. I began journaling everything. Took photos of every room before bed. Each morning, something was off. A book turned to a different page. A new scratch on the fridge door. A faint, unfamiliar scent of perfume in the living room. I contacted building management. Installed a hidden camera. That night, it sent me an alert, movement detected at 3:16 a.m. I opened the app, hands trembling. The feed showed the empty kitchen. But the chair slowly moved. Not dragged. No one there. Just slid out. exactly as I'd found it. I rewound the footage, frame by frame, zoomed in. No strings, no shadows, no explanation. I showed the police. They watched, then said, "Could be wind, mice, or uneven flooring." I laughed. Maybe out of fear. I wasn't crazy. I wasn't making this up. But no one believed me. I stayed. Friends stopped visiting. They thought I was delusional. Only he still came. Every night. No breaking in. No sound. No trace. Only the occasional upside-down cup on the table. Or a single blank sheet of paper, placed neatly on my bed. And I began to understand. The scariest thing isn't a noise in the night. It's the total silence left by someone who means to leave nothing. Until one day, he forgot to leave nothing. I kept monitoring. Writing notes. I installed a camera inside a wall clock. Synced the footage to my phone. Then one rainy afternoon, I came home to a chill down my spine. A trail of water, stretching from the front door to the living room. Not footprints. A damp dragging, like someone walked barefoot. Still dripping. I checked the footage. Nothing, until I zoomed into a corner of the mirror by the bookshelf. A quick reflection, a man in a baseball cap. Only a few frames. But that jacket. That brown, peeling leather jacket. I'd seen it before. 3 weeks ago. When I called to fix the water heater. He came 2 hours late. Soft-spoken. Polite. Worked quickly. Apologized for the delay. I didn't think much of it. Until now. I checked the appointment confirmation. The number. Disconnected. I called the service company. They said, "We didn't have anyone scheduled in your area that day." He came. Once. Legitimately. And got everything he needed. The house layout. Camera positions. The electrical box code. And a sense that the homeowner lived alone. And was easily frightened. I sat frozen for an hour. Just one question in my head. Since then, how many times has he come back without me knowing? And then, I saw him. On the evening news. I don't usually watch TV at night. But that evening, I couldn't sleep. The small kitchen TV buzzed softly. Then the program was interrupted. Breaking, wanted fugitive escaped psychiatric facility. I almost dropped my glass. It was him. No doubt. Name, Elliot Wade. Former maintenance tech. Diagnosed with paranoid delusions and identity disorder. Known to impersonate service workers, sneak into homes, live hidden inside for days, before striking. He doesn't steal. He doesn't flee. He just stays. Quietly. Police confirmed he escaped the facility 11 days ago. That was exactly when he came to my home. I checked the hidden camera feed again. Frame by frame. And then, I saw it. A figure squatting beside the shoe rack. 3 a.m. Not moving. Just sitting. Staring into the camera. Eyes wide. Unblinking. I don't know when he came in. Or if he ever left. But I do know one thing. Some people don't want your money. They don't want to kill you right away. They want to be near you. To watch. And wait. I called 911. I think the guy from the alert was in my home. Maybe still is. I have footage. The operator responded calmly. We're dispatching officers. Lock the doors. Stay in one room. I blocked every door. Grabbed a fruit knife. Curled up in my bedroom, shaking. 10 minutes later, a squad car pulled up. I ran out, showed them the footage. He just sat there. Didn't do anything. No. But the way he stared into the camera, like he knew I was watching. They searched the whole place. Every inch. Nothing. One officer shrugged. Maybe he came and left. Or maybe it was someone else. But there's no one here now. I smiled politely. Thanked them. Closed the door. Stood alone. In the middle of my living room. Then remembered. I never checked the storage closet. I approached slowly. Heart pounding. Opened the door. And a soft breath, very close. I froze. Eyes stared at me from the shelf. Unblinking. Like he had never left. Like he never intended to. Then, the lights went out. Click. I moved out. Stayed with my friend Mina for a few days. She didn't ask much. Just offered a blanket, a cup of tea, and her quiet presence. I couldn't return to that apartment. Even though the police found nothing. I knew. He was still there. A week later, I found a new apartment. Bright, small, cozy. The landlord was kind. Neighbors, friendly. Day 4, while organizing books, a breaking news alert popped up. Wanted killer captured. Impersonated service workers to access homes. For confirmed victims. It was him. The same smile. The same eyes. The same man who once held a key to my front door. I exhaled. Relief, real, at last. That night, I slept early. But, in the middle of the night, I woke up. Felt a presence. Someone watching. I turned. No one. I laughed at myself. You're just traumatized. Went to the kitchen for water. Then I stopped. On the floor, by the balcony door. A single footprint in the dust. It was facing outward. As if someone had been inside, and left. I collapsed into the chair. Terror like fog creeping in. He was caught. The killer was caught. So who? Who was in my hallway? Who breathed near me in the dark? Who stood in my new home, watching me sleep? I moved houses. But he didn't need a house. He only needed me.